Okay, let's zoom in a little bit on scope of things that we want to retain ourselves, rather train ourselves. We never learned it earlier. That is play, question, reflection, and story. So when does this process start, and where do we prepare ourselves more, and when do we hand over the baton? The process starts here, and then a baby comes out, and it starts, and it toddlers, and it walks, and it runs, and eventually, and then it's the same organism mixes into those atoms, and those atoms come again into another organisms, and etc. etc. This component from before birth to first 4 years or first 3 years is essentially will not be in our scope, but it does not mean that this is not important. Learning starts much earlier, before a human child comes out of her mother's womb. If you are interested, do watch some lectures by Professor Spilowski. Behave. He is an author of, interesting guy. Do watch TED Talk by Annie Murphy Paul. She is a science journalist. And if you really want to get into details, buy some books by Glenn Tom, right? How toddlers learn maths and how toddlers learns language. So Glenn Dorman, I would say you can go to Amazon and find out stuff. But this essentially is not our area. The only thing I can say off the cuff is respect mothers, respect your wives, and respect your daughter-in-laws. That's all, and things will start working. It's difficult to say, to practice, easy to say, and but that's the only thing. Here we start from when the child is of age 4 to 5. Let's call it in kg, and we start in this process up to grade 5 or grade 6. This is the elementary level, and then 6 onwards, essentially the primary or high school, we go up to 12. The methodology changes at 3 places. Methodology for first 2 to 3 years is different, and probably that is more critical and more technical, and where we need more hand holding of our younger teachers and parents. And after that it becomes rather interesting and easier, and here onwards it's rather very less technical, and a good script would be enough for the teacher who has a basic understanding on how we learn and how to make good questions. But this component is about only one thing, that is language development. This component is about 2 things, that is literacy and numeracy. Literacy and numeracy. Kind of this language development starts, and then the literacy starts, and then it doesn't mean the numeracy sense starts over here, it starts over here, but it's guised in the language development itself. Now, I will not be surprised if you don't know the difference between the language development and literacy. I also didn't know this thing till the time we started reading the literature. Language is about speaking, is the sense of sound. Literacy is about how to read and how to write. This sense comes later. This sense comes first, right? So the first 3 years we will be essentially doing one stuff: language development, right? We have lots of questions comes to mind, to the first language, in the mother language, or second language, or what. We will start our discussion and double click everything into language development and how we can make our behavior really conducive and interesting for the child, that he enjoys and talks and listens, and we also talk and listen, and that's how the process begins. Thank you very much.